Hello everyone, Derek's Damn Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. Today we've got the Unrivaled Series 17 Killswitch, and well, we don't have him here in a plastic prison, so we don't have much to do other than the actual review itself. I will say, if you have not seen any other previous Luchasaurus / Killswitch figure reviews from someone like Kyle Peterson or maybe My Damn Toys, you may not understand the great and shitty nature of Luchasaurus figures, and I will explain that in a great deal of my own. But you may be questioning why I've got a bunch of weapons around the ring and stuff. All I'm gonna say is it's for a pick-fed match for a future joint show if I haven't made any of that clear in the past before, or maybe if you're a new watcher, never know, a lot of you guys are not subscribed. Maybe you should hit that subscribe button before we get too deep into this, but if not, I'm sure you'll hear about it later. Either way, before we get too busy rambling on and I don't actually end up talking about the figure, we can actually get into these accessories now. And well, I should say accessory because he does only come with the shoulder blade thing here, like the shoulder blade protector, but it is really damn cool nonetheless. It's got like all the little like spinal dragon or lizard details. Just all the spikes are really neat. I love the sculpting on this. And honestly, the paint deco on this is really nice as well. Of course, it can't really get too difficult. After all, it is just silver and black mainly. But I do really actually appreciate the way this accessory fits on the figure and actually poses. But speaking of the figure itself and how it poses, well, we can get into that here in a little bit. But first things first, let's just go over some of this amazing detail from the mask, which I think this might be a repeat head scan, just a different color on the mask. I'm not too sure though, as this is my first ever Luchasaurus / Killswitch figure, so seeing the unique sculpt here in the hair already is quite damn cool. But then of course you've got all of his tattoo deco as well, and from the side of his ribs all the way up to his chest, all the way over his one arm, all the way down to his hand, his back. His other arm does have a little bit of tattooing there, all the way onto the other side of his chest and stuff though. Like this tattoo is really damn cool. It honestly reminds me of what if Jeff Hardy continued the tree all around his body instead of it just being like a one arm sleeve and then it comes up into the demon with the Hardy Boys logo and all that kind of stuff. But either way, really cool detailing here. Honestly, it actually, well, besides the top half of the figure coming off if you press on it a little too much, the top half of the figure does not pose all that bad at all. It's got a little bit of movement up in there, but like I said, it just does not like to bend there, and it's a little annoying, but we'll make it work somehow, some way. We'll make it happen. But yeah, I don't know. That is kind of a bummer when it comes to these figures, though. The bigger men don't really take much bumps, so I mean, are you really expecting to see this man pose super articulately? Probably not, though. If you watch his matches, you might actually think otherwise. But really, I can deal with the torso not bending all that well because honestly, it's got a lot more range of movement everywhere else. The arms and everything also move quite buttery smooth on this. I can't complain there. The shoulders aren't tight. The arms aren't super loose. The hands have been posing just fine. This honestly might have been a pretty decent steal for a recent figure, in all honesty, with how much I paid in the aftermarket for this bad boy. The nice little Killswitch waist wrap is pretty neat there. It doesn't really hinder much articulation. If anything, it's just that upper top half that's gonna be so fucking annoying. But I guess a little bit of a side detailing without the leg there. I'm gonna try to get this leg to pose up as much as I could. I might actually have to pause the video because this shit is fucking difficult with one hand. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard as hell to pose this figure with just one hand. Alrighty, we're back online, and as you guys can see what I was trying to do there, he can actually pose a pretty decent big boot. It's not like terrible looking, but you do have to manipulate the leg a little bit there to actually like fully pose it. So, you know, you might want to keep that in mind when you're coming down to like trying to pose this. But all the deco on this figure, despite it, you know, just being like a dark gray on top of black, I'm liking the designs on this attire here. The waist wrap is really nice and neat. The way the figure looks is really cool, but then you get down to these godforsaken knees, and like this might be the best you're gonna get out of this knee bend here. It's just that simple little like back. And I mean, that's not the worst, I guess, but then there's no fucking boot rotation. No, oh well, yeah, no ankle rotation. There is ankle rotation, but there's like no, like maybe ankle just straight up rotation, like right here in the bottom of the boot or at the top of the boot here. It's definitely a weird choice to keep that in line, because that has been an issue as far as I'm aware of with every single Luchasaurus / Killswitch release. So that's always going to be a bummer in my opinion. That started off, if I recall, with Pac and Kazarian, and it continued with him as well, and it not all as well when you can't give us full-blown articulation. Like, yeah, the ankles move, that helps out a little bit, but I may have a potential fix. It may take away from the figure a little bit as far as the standard Luchasaurus looks go. But I've got a couple ideas that may upgrade this figure and may at least make it look decent when it comes to like maybe using it for the pig feds or something like that. If you guys are interested in bringing this man to your fed, I know I am personally, but I won't get into that too much, because if I can actually make the lower legs pose a lot better, like the knees down, I'm gonna try to do that and maybe bring Killswitch into the Fed. So keep your eye out for that, I guess. But with all that being said, why don't I shut up and we can get into maybe like a final pose and we can talk a little bit more about this Killswitch. Alrighty, you guys, we've got Luchasaurus or Killswitch all set in his final pose alongside with his former mentor in Christian Cage. As we all know, he is now back to being known as Luchasaurus, and he's back with Jungle Boy on TV. Can't say I'm hating it though. I would have loved to see the Killswitch gimmick go a little bit further, but it's also whatever. Bringing a former team back from the grave in a sense, and maybe we'll see them finally win tag gold, because I didn't what was it, Jurassic Express? They won the tag belts, right? So maybe I was a little wrong on my information there, if I'm remembering correctly now. But I'm also not gonna lie, I can't remember, just because it feels like a little bit too long ago for me to actually just recall that off the top of my head. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, this more current iteration might be my more, like, favored iteration of Jurassic Express, but we'll have to just see how that plays out as time goes on. It may get worse, it may get better. I just know I would love to see Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy get used more prominently on TV, and well, when Luchasaurus was with Christian Cage, God, I don't know why that was such a tongue twister. He was being used quite well on TV. Of course, Jack Perry no longer aligned with the Elite. He's no longer aligned with Christian. It just all kind of makes sense to allow them to come back together. Win some tag gold maybe. Whether they have before or not, I can't fucking remember. I really can't lie. But either way, at the end of the day, I will say it is nice to see these two paired up together side by side finally in my own collection, as that's one of the main reasons why I got this Christian. If I'm gonna be honest, I could have probably lived without having any of the Christian AEW figures, though they really don't look that bad. I don't know. It's a little weird because it doesn't pose bad either, and I'm assuming if his first AEW figure is built similar, like formula-ish, they might be a little bit different on the lower ends, but honestly, I may end up picking that up one day if I can find it cheap enough, but that's besides the point. We're here to talk about the Luchasaur ass, but when it comes down to it at the end of the day, scaling this on a scale of 1 to 10, it's kind of a bit difficult, because on one end, if I was just buying this to put on the shelf, have him stand there and look pretty, he does that job fucking phenomenally. He'd get a 10 out of 10. But we also take the articulation and the playability feel into hand here, and well, I mean, it could have been on Christian Cage's ordeal here, but I did try to pose Luchasaurus up in a nice dynamic pose. I had him hitting that back super kick thing the back super kick. This roundhouse kick idea thing I had going. Completely toppled over, kind of fucked up a little bit of the weapon setup here in the ring. But that's whatever. I can always fix that up when time comes. I don't know, honestly, I don't want to give this figure a super bad ranking, because he is aesthetically very pleasing and easily could bring this figure up to that 6 mark. So he already beats that half scale point. But knowing that the legs articulate the way they do, and it's mainly because of them fucking tassels on the back of the legs there, mainly on the knees. That's where the knee problem comes into play. Of course, I'm going to have the non-rotation factor and the boots there be an issue too, especially when, if I recall correctly, yeah, I can see it right there, Christian Cage himself has fucking boot rotation, and his boots are actually his shoes. So I don't know, that shit does not make any sense as far as this figure goes, and I think that's why I'm going to leave him at a good solid 7. Just because articulation wise he is not that great. He is fixable though, in my opinion. There's potential here. And I hope I can maybe share that with you guys soon, if not on here on my Instagram. But I digress. We still got the good old Dave Meltzer star scale to do, and if I give him a good old solid 7 out of 10, I feel a good solid 3 out of 5 stars works for the good old 1 to Young Buck match. God damn, I'm fucking up my whole outro here. As you guys can tell, non-scripted at all. There's no fucking paper here for me to try to remember this bullshit. But yeah, I think that's perfect. A good old 3 out of 5 stars for the 1 to Young Buck match, the good old Dave Meltzer star scale. A good solid 7 out of 10 if you want to rank it on a higher scale. And other than that, I don't really have much else to say. So if you guys would like to, feel free to, like the video if you guys liked the video. But if you guys did not like the video, well, womp womp, I guess. But if you guys did and you guys would like to, feel free to go check out some of my other action figure content. We recently reviewed Joe Gacy there. I didn't realize there was a fucking hair caught on the phone there. But yeah, anyway, we got Joe Gacy's review there. We've got the Highway to Hell Pick Fed match. Well, at least my match. My buddy who collabed with me on this event, His end is on Instagram, so feel free to go check that out. His name's JCW Thunder, JC_Thunder. I should at least point out and say, maybe one of these days I'll not be so lazy on the descriptions and I'll actually put them in the description of this video, but I digress. We've got a lot of shish here, so feel free to go check all this stuff out. If you got the time, of course. If not, maybe feel free to subscribe. After all, it is free to subscribe. We are currently on the road to 500 subscribers, and well, I'm not going to play the small violin. I'm not going to play in the arms of the angels for you guys and beg you guys for donations or something, but helping me out on that goal to 500 definitely is nice. We're pretty much almost halfway there. So what are you guys doing? Feel free to help me out if you could, but other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. So have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know. I'm not in your time zone. I just know AEW Dynamite's on right now as we speak. And I still have one more review to do after this. So RAP my fun time, I guess. But not that this isn't my fun time, but I don't know. This review wasn't the most fun. But either way, we're gonna hop out of here. Deuces, ooses, yeet.